Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 282 of Screw the Commute podcast. I'm here with Naresh Vissa, and I met this guy on his show. He's the co-host of the Work From Home show. I wonder why they had me on, right? I'm a guy, he's got some crazy big credentials, but my favorite is the book he wrote. It's the number one best-selling, he's the number one best-selling author of 50 Shades of Marketing. I love that. Whip your business into shape and dominate your competition. So that was very creative. So we'll bring him on in a minute. Now, episode 281. All right, listen here. I got a shy little girl that is making masks, these pandemic masks, and she's very shy. And so I interviewed her and her mom and dad. There was a lot of fun, but she wasn't real verbose, put it that way. So, but we'll get some real interesting things. She's the sweetest little girl. So we'll check her on episode 281 if you missed that. Now, how would you like to hear your own voice here on Screw the Commute? Well, if the show has helped you out at all in your business or given you ideas to help you start a business, we want to hear about it. Visit screwthecommute.com and look for a little blue sidebar that says send a voicemail. Click on it and talk into your phone or your computer and tell me how the show's helped you. And remember to put your website on there and you'll get a big shout out on a future episode of Screw the Commute. And grab a copy. You know, we give away stuff on here. Grab a copy of our automation ebook. We sell it for $27, but we give it to you for listening to the show. And it's one of the best things you could ever do for your business. I got to tell you, it's allowed me to handle up to 150,000 subscribers and 40,000 customers without pulling my hair out. All the tips and tricks of the trade. Even just one of the tips in there has saved me. We figured it out about 2 years ago. Saved me 7.5 million keystrokes. Okay, so it definitely saved me carpal tunnel. So grab a copy of that at screwthecommute.com/automate-free. Screwthecommute.com/automate-free. While you're over there, grab a copy of our podcast app. It's screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP. And we have complete training and video and screen captures so you know how to use it, and you can put it on your tablet and your cell phone and take us with you on the road. All right. We're in the middle of this pandemic, and the Google search terms for work at home are just going crazy. Now, I've been preaching this since 1996, pretty much. So, and people call me up and say, Tom, how you doing? Well, I'm doing fine. I've been sitting here for 26 years. It's the same to me as anything. But a lot of you are hurting, and I recognize that. But please, don't let this go another day without you starting getting online skills to keep money coming in when something bad happens. And we never expected this to happen, but I've always been preaching it's like an insurance policy for you to have these skills, because if you get sick or hurt, it's really an insurance policy for your family. You can have money coming in without going to work. Screw that commute. So we have a school that teaches you about that. It's imtcva.org. It's the only licensed, dedicated internet marketing school in the country. It's all the stuff that I have been teaching all these years to create this gorgeous lifestyle business that I have been living. A little later, I'll tell you about our mentor program. All right, let's bring on the main event. Naresh Vissa is the founder and CEO of Krish Media and Marketing. It's a full-service e-commerce technology development, online and digital media and marketing agency, and a solutions provider. Now, this guy has worked for massive companies, little companies. Hey, the Houston Rockets and the Houston Astros. I think somebody's mad at them about something lately. I don't know if it was his fault or not, but I forget what that was. And
No.
No? Okay.
I was there long before.
Okay. So he's written other books, Podcastnomics, the book of podcasting to make you millions, and Just other things we'll talk about as we go here. But he's been on all kinds of media, Yahoo, Bloomberg, MSNBC, Huffington Post, MSN Money, Business. I mean, all over the place, this guy is. So we're happy to have him here. I'm glad I met him on his show. So, Naresh, are you ready to screw?
Oh, I love to screw.
All right. Well, you're in the right place for that, buddy. So I was so thrilled to meet you when I saw that the request come in for me to be on the work from home show. I said, that's me. I actually had a nightclub, Naresh, and I lived above it for 6 years. So technically, I had a nightclub and served alcohol and had a bunch of drunks and bikers trying to kill me.
Best
but
place
I still
to work.
lived at
Best
home.
place to work.
Yeah. So tell us what you're doing now, and then we'll take you back, see how you came up through the ranks.
Well, now I'm the founder and CEO of Krish Media and Marketing, as you mentioned earlier. It's a digital marketing agency. That's the easiest way to describe it in one sentence. We do pretty much anything and everything online and digital, from building your website, web development, to designing your logos, to search engine optimization, podcast production, even book publishing. We do it all. We have online and digital solutions. I started the business 7 years ago in 2013. So almost exactly 7 years ago is when I jumped in. I've been working from home ever since. And that's really why I started the work from home show, because it's the perfect time right now with 2020, with the lockdowns, the pandemic. I mean, it's not going away. At least the fear isn't going away anytime soon, and businesses, industries are being changed. So I just wanted to share my experience with digital marketing, with e-commerce, with the online and digital markets, and help people so they could have the success. They could even do even better than what I've done.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I wanted to jump in there, because you're all digital marketing, and you said you help people produce books, but do any of them ever show up in print, or do you just stick to all ebooks?
Nope. We use our digital tools to print books as well.
Okay,
so that
great.
includes paperbacks, hardbacks, but obviously the competitive advantage is the ebook, the Kindles, the iBooks, and the audiobooks available on Audible and Amazon as well.
Now, have you been doing this the whole time? I didn't catch that since you started it from home, or have you ever had an office for it?
When you say it, you mean the books?
I'm sorry. Yeah, the business, Krish Media.
Oh, so the business, I actually got started on the side when I was a college student.
Oh, okay.
So I worked from my dorm room, and I had no intention of pursuing, I guess you can call it a side hustle. I had no intention of pursuing my side hustles full time, because I was in school. I actually had you mentioned in my resume earlier, I got some great experience and great opportunities working for some household blue chip names that people dream of working for when it comes to CNN, Bloomberg. I was heavily recruited out of Bloomberg out of college, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo. Like I said, these are household names. And so I thought, this is just a side hustle. Like I'm going to be a corporate guy. And then I started working those corporate jobs, and I said, whoa, like, I think the whole side hustle thing I think I should pursue that full time. That's really a much happier way to live life.
Well, with your credentials here in school, you probably were sought after by those people. Look at it. What is this? 2 master's degrees, or a master's degree from Duke? Oh no, is it the Fuqua?
Yep, Fuqua.
School of Business, Duke, and. Yeah, so that's pretty heavy duty credentials. It's no wonder they wanted you. And but you don't have to. I got to tell people on here, you don't have to have those kind of credentials. We got high school dropouts that are making money on.
Oh, absolutely,
on
absolutely. This. And it's one of the, I don't want to say a big lie, but it's one of the kind of big misnomers out there, and that's, oh, you need to go to college, you need to go to Harvard. And that's a way that you make a lot of money in life and become successful. And I learned, I'm kind of living proof of that. look, you can't, if you want to be beholden to a boss or beholden to a job for the rest of your life, then yeah, go to those schools. You'll get recruited by nice places like JP Morgan Chase and Wells Fargo, and you'll have a stable salary, and they won't lay you off unless things get really, really, really bad. You'll get nice bonuses, you'll get nice perks, but it's a corporate job. I mean, JP Morgan Chase, when I worked there, had more than 200,000 employees worldwide. I think now it's probably at least double that.
Yeah, you can make it up to CEO and get kicked out of Wells Fargo for cheating like millions of people do.
Billions.
Yeah, billions of people. So yeah, you're kind of preaching to the choir because you haven't been around my show a lot, but I mean, I have a quiz called 7 College Ripoffs on my school, and I have a consumer advocate show called Scam Brigade in developing Hollywood. And because I know fraud, and so I'm very in tune with this. And if these people weren't college people, they would be in jail for some of the things they're doing with the student debt and the hikes in tuitions and the fees, that the goofy, crazy fees. They have one school has at least one school has they called it not an excitement fee, but it was like a student. Pep rally fee or something crazy like that, right? Yeah. So, but I'm all for education too. I don't poo-poo education. I poo-poo people get ripped off and hoodwinked into overpaying for worthless stuff. And
that's exactly
learning how to protest.
You nailed it. So the key is everything is a decision, right? Economics is all about what risk are you taking on and how much does it cost, no matter what decision we make. And in the case of college education, graduate school education, the same risk and cost applies. So I love my time in school. It was great. But if you look at the dollars and cents of how much it costs and what I got back in return, it doesn't make sense. And now with the pandemic, this ties into working from home, because now students are learning from home. They're not on campuses right now. And on top of that, Harvard announced recently that their fall semester is probably going to continue to be from home, virtual learning. So then you'd have to take that into account. Well, if I'm just learning at home, watching a lecture that's already up on YouTube or Khan Academy, what am I getting for my...
No, that's a good excuse for them to raise the fees. Stanford just came out today and said they're going to put tents out in the courtyards to have classes outside.
Yeah, so it's all about risk and cost. And back when you went to school, you could probably get a degree at Stanford for less than $10,000 a year, maybe less than $5,000 a year. I can tell you now, to get a degree from Stanford, we're talking $80,000, $90,000 a year. And the tuition, when I went to Duke, that was 8 years ago when I graduated. Mm-hmm. And the tuition has almost doubled from when I was there.
Yeah, so if you take that quiz of mine, it's imtcva.org/quiz. It talks about the raise in fees for both books and tuition compared to the rate of inflation. And it's most of it's 8 times the rate of inflation for no apparent reason. Right? So I could rag on those people all day, but so do you have you with all the things you do, you must have people working for you. They're all working remotely?
Absolutely. They're all remote, spread across the world. So not just here in Tampa or the United States.
And all contractors?
They're all independent contractors or part-time employees.
Okay.
So I'm the only full-time person. In fact, I just got an email from my bank. Speaking of banks, different bank, Bank of America, another great, wonderful bank, saying that I got approved for my PPP loan. And so only one employee for Krish Media and Marketing, that's me. So I'm the only person on payroll, but everyone else is an independent contractor or part-time employee. Or intern. And I found that, man, this model has been incredible, because when I started working with a client early on in 2013, that's how his company, everyone was an independent contractor, and he crushed it. He still does extremely well. I mean, millions upon millions of dollars in gross revenue, completely virtual, completely independent contract. And that's kind of opened my eyes. Like, wow, I never, going to Duke and working at JP Morgan, everything was all about, oh, I need to hire someone. I need to hire someone full time and put them in this desk. And that was the first time I opened my eyes and was like, no, that's not how business and an economy runs. That's how corporate America might run. But,
and that's why of the bust, maybe it was before your time, but the .com bust was because they shoveled millions and millions of dollars to wet behind the ears kids that just spent it like crazy on these things, probably $50 a square foot for their fancy offices and pool tables and everything else, and then they're out of business.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And I see startups doing that still. And I'm like, here you are, you just raised all this funding from investors, and this is what you're going to spend it on? Like, what happened to your actual business and your business model? And
and I'm so proud of this. I don't know if I told you about this guy when I was on your show, but the one of the young people I started out just sold Pluto.tv for $340 million. All right.
No, but you didn't tell it.
Yeah. He's I grabbed him out of CompUSA, which doesn't exist anymore. He was just Yeah.
Yep. And you told me his story, but you didn't tell me he sold a business for 300. Yeah, you told me everything except for the selling the business.
It was his third startup, and he would have just been a regular corporate guy. But I grabbed him up when in 10th grade, and then he sold his first startup for $1.5 million, his second one for $6 million, and this last one for $340 million to Viacom. It's all over the news. Viacom bought Pluto.tv, which was his company, and but the thing is I remember seeing pictures of the company. It wasn't all fancy. It was a bunch of people and not even cubicles, just lined up with laptops and computers, and he kept his costs low. I guess he probably learned some of that off of me because I'm very frugal. I'm not a cheapskate, but my dad came from Syria on a cattle boat with nothing. And I mean, we basically grew up very frugal, and, people spending a lot of money, you got to make way, way, way more money to just break even. Where if you can keep your costs low, you can be profitable with, very quickly.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And talking about I love the immigrant story because most immigrants who come here to the United States come here with nothing. I'm a child of immigrants. My parents, not as, I wouldn't say rags, because my father came here for education. So if you come here for education, you kind of have a leg up. But if you just come here with nothing but the clothes and your backpack, that's an incredible story. And I know so many people in my family, extended family, my wife's family, who came here with negative. I mean, they didn't even have $5 in their pocket. And I've always tried to model my just the way that I live life, but also my entrepreneurship, being a business person, as if I was an immigrant. So the way I live, my lifestyle, my spending habits, both in my business and personally, I try to model it after that immigrant lifestyle. And so that's part of the reason it's like, okay, I can go out, raise funding, get nice offices, hire people full time, and try to live this big life. Or I can work from home, from my home office, in front of my laptop, and not have to waste money on buying a nice car, waste time driving around, waste even more money on recruiting and retaining and HR and healthcare. So it's just kind of that immigrant mentality in me that made me want to hustle to get to where I am right now.
Yeah, and I'm all for that kind of stuff. I mean, I have my the one thing that I am hassling with is my school, because it's 3,700 square feet, and it's empty now because the employees are working at home. And so I had to have it though to get the license for the school. You can't work out of your home and be certified to get a school. But I think of that all the time. I'm seeing that empty square footage sitting there just bleeding money, and I'm like, Yeah. But other things, I mean, even my employees look at me like, why are you buying off of eBay? Well, because I can get good deals. I mean, I just got my ham radio license. I passed 2 tests in about a week. And then I went on Offer Up, and I got a radio that was $500 for $100. And I'm thinking, that's $400 I could have just blown and had the same radio. So that's what kind of life I live. So tell us more about your daily schedule. What do you do when you work from home? You get up early? Do you work out? How's it go?
Well, let me give you a philosophical answer to that. So part of being an entrepreneur working from home is you have to be healthy, not just physically, but I believe that and this was taken from one of my favorite books, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You have to be healthy mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. So physically, I try to do something physical, whether it's running a mile every day or playing. We're on lockdown, but generally I play tennis one to 2 times a week. I used to play more basketball and beach volleyball when I was single. Beach volleyball. I used to live on a beach in Tampa Bay. So I used to play beach volleyball, grass volleyball, basketball. I don't play as much anymore now that I don't live on the beach anymore and I have a wife and kid. But physical activity is very important to me. Mentally, that's exercising the brain. So that's reading a lot. I do read a lot. I write a lot. I play chess once a week with a group here. Emotionally, just kind of means being around people who don't bring you down, who encourage you, and who you enjoy being around. You don't want to be around people who make you feel uncomfortable or insecure. So I only do things. I'm active in the community. I'm on the board of a couple of organizations here in Tampa Bay and outside of Tampa Bay. So I give back in that sense. And then spiritually is simply, to me, I happen to be religious, and I happen to go to the temple once a week in general to pray. But spiritually, to me, that's part of it. But the other part is just giving thanks and being content and thankful for everything that you have. So there are times when my business wasn't going well, and these 4 kind of legs on a chair kept me sane. And the spirituality part would keep me the most sane. To just be thankful that I do have a business that is generating something and that I'm able to support myself. So these 4 areas I try to implement every day at some point. And sleep is incredibly important. So I try to get minimum 7 hours of sleep a night. That's so just super. I found that to be a game changer as far as, because people say, man, how do you run this business? And I also have a real estate business, and you're on the board of these organizations, and you write these books, and like, how are you doing it? And my secret is sleep. You get the 7 hours of sleep, and all of a sudden you feel, yeah, I might wake up later than the corporate guy or than the average person, but that's either because I'm staying up later working or working on myself, improving myself, which in turn improves my ideas, my creativity, my business. So that sleep is incredibly important.
Yeah, I used to rag against sleep. I used to say sleep was overrated. And then as I got older, I said, maybe I should rethink that.
It depends. I mean, sleep is definitely good for one's health. The way I see it, I know people who think sleep is for wimps, and they, especially like political type of like politicians, because they never sleep. I don't know how they do. They're like, oh yeah, sleep is for wimps and this and that. And I used to be in your boat and be like, yeah, sleep is for wimps. But then I realized, man, when you get sleep, you don't feel tired during the day, and you feel more, at least me, everyone's different, right?
Well, it depends on what you eat too. If you pack in the carbs, that can, kind of cloud your brain. For
what you eat, that's another topic. Yeah. It has to do with the physical side, and I'm almost vegan. I live in a vegan house, so our house is vegan. But even when we go out to eat, that strictly vegetarian. So no fish, no meat, no nothing. So I'm like vegan, I would say like 60 to 70% of the time, and vegetarian 30% of the time, which just kind of automatically gets rid of a lot of the bad stuff that.
See, I'm never inviting you to the retreat center then, because
I won't be.
We fill out. Yeah. Oh no, it's not a liability, but we make people fill out a form of what they want to eat, and as soon as I see vegan, I'm like, oh my God. I got to go buy $6 cookies that taste like a piece of cardboard. And then I buy all this stuff, and then they come and they say, oh, I'll just take off this weekend and I'll just eat regular. I'm like, I'm gonna strangle you. And tennis. Did I tell you about my tennis website?
No,
Yeah.
you did not.
Yeah, because I talk about, making your hobbies tax deductible, right? And your family interest tax deductible. So I'm a tennis nut. So I have a site called Fatso Tennis. It's for people that are overweight and out of shape that love tennis. And so I have a DVD I produced. I have the dubious distinction of being the largest person ever to produce and star in a tennis training video.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know, because I know you played not professional, but college football.
Yeah, I played football. Yeah, but I just took up tennis in my 30s. I just loved it. But it's all about how big fat people can run the younger people to death before they drop dead. So it sounds like you don't get up at the crack of dawn, right?
No.
Yeah, so
when my son was born, it put me on a good schedule. But now even my wife and I have rubbed off on him, and he's still a tiny little baby, but he's getting up when we get up, which is good.
Perfect.
Good for us. But he's also sleeping in.
Now, is she part of the business?
No, she has nothing to do with my business or business, and she's like anti-business.
Oh.
She's not
she'd rethink that if you just decided to quit and not bring any money in. Like that.
Well, she's a physician, so yeah, so she does well, but not on the business side.
Well, yeah, no, I a long time ago I quit speaking to physicians and lawyers. It just never worked out well.
Well, it was funny because on our first date, I was very upfront. This was like within hours of meeting, and I was because I also I have a lot of physician friends. We're friends because we have fun together. We don't talk about their jobs or pharmaceuticals or any treatments or anything like that, because I am extremely anti-medicine. When I say anti-medicine, anti-medical industry, anti-big pharma.
I totally get it.
The FDA should be abolished. And so we got that out of the way on our first date, and that's pretty much the end of our talk about medicine.
So she, I forget where. I'm not sure where you live.
Tampa Bay.
So is she getting buried with the corona stuff?
No, not at all.
That's not her.
No. Oh no, it is her. Her group is responsible at Tampa General Hospital.
That's what I meant. Is she involved in it and has to go face
She's
that
involved
every day?
in it, but she's involved with it. They're supposed to be taking care of the patients, but there just aren't too many patients coming in. All of a sudden, people stopped going to the hospital. And so she's been coming home early every day for the past 2 months, since mid-March, because her patients have been essentially cut in half. And her pay is the same because she works for basically like a nonprofit. But she works for the university. If she was in a private group, I know I have friends who work in private groups and their pay's been slashed by 50%.
Yeah, I mean, they're laying off people at hospitals and stuff because they were gearing up for all this stuff that never happened. But that's good that she's able to keep her salary going there. So let's switch gears here and tell us more about the 50 Shades of Marketing.
Yeah, well, 50 Shades of Marketing, I wrote it 5 years ago in 2015, at the end of 2015.
Was that about the time the movie was out?
Same year.
Yeah,
it was the same year
so that's a perfect idea, yeah.
Yeah, so the book had already been out. 50 Shades of Grey had already been out for, I want to say, 4 years. But the part one movie had come out earlier in the year. And so I always meaning since I got into online and digital, my goal was to write a book, kind of a primer on online and digital marketing. And that primer became 50 Shades of Marketing. Whip your business into shape and dominate your competition. And the idea behind 50 Shades of Marketing is that so many businesses, really life in general, has been changing. I mean, every minute, this was back in 2015. I mean, every minute, hundreds of thousands of dollars are spent online just in the United States.
Yeah, sure.
And
More than that, yeah.
More than 500 million emails are sent. More than 500,000 tweets are tweeted every hour on Twitter. So I saw all these trends like, man, things are going online and digital. And then we saw in 2016, I mean, the role, one of my books called Trump Book, we saw the role that online and digital played in President Trump getting elected. I mean, the fact of the matter is, without online and digital, he wouldn't have been as effective. He ran in 2000 and he wasn't as effective.
That guy running his campaign was really sharp.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he hired the data scientists and folks, the data guys to analyze. I mean, he's a business guy, so he understands these trends. Politicians not necessarily gonna. No,
they're gonna hire Beyonce.
Yeah, well, she did. Hillary Clinton hired Jay-Z and Beyonce. So 50 Shades of Marketing, I wrote it because the internet, I saw it has become a necessity for conducting business, even brick and mortar businesses. And really, the latest virus has expedited that. I think in 2015, when I wrote the book, I was kind of in line, on time. But now it's like, all of a sudden, everything has to go digital and telework and telecommute because of the virus.
I'm sitting back here. I've been preaching this since 1996. I started at 1994 when the commercial internet started, and I could see, I'm not any kind of futurist, but I could just see, man, it was hard enough to sell a product across the street. And you're telling me I can be in my basement on my computer and sell stuff around the world? I'm going to figure this out. But it just didn't catch on mainstream. But now everybody's like, oh, boy, I wish I would have listened to you. Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah, so you were even 20 years before I started preaching it. And I've been, I do a lot of these podcast interviews, radio interviews, and I talk about this topic called digital economics. And I've been talking, and I've been saying, look, 2008, 2009, that essentially woke businesses up to start using technology and to start outsourcing and to start hiring freelancers and independent contractors. And I've been saying since I came out with 50 Shades of Marketing for the past 5 years, that the next recession is going to make it permanent. So the businesses are going to fully adapt to outsourcing, remote work, and really using technology to replace people. And so far that recession has come, and it's almost overnight. It's these strategies, these ideas have been implemented, and I think it's only going to continue to move forward in this direction for the better in the long haul. Yeah, I know a lot of people. We've reached 20% unemployment.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I get it. And people have lost their jobs. I get it. But long term, I think this is going to be very good for the economy. It's going to be good for jobs. It's going to be good.
It's good for health. Innovation. I mean, everybody poo-pooed and was against telehealth before, and now people that are not ambulatory can, see their doctor on a computer now instead of trying to get their neighbor to take them somewhere, and they can't hardly, the telehealth is finally 2x4 to the head to the medical industry that, hey, a lot can be done remotely. You don't have to make somebody get up and kill themselves to get there, which is more dangerous than if they'd have just stayed home. So we got to take a brief sponsor break. And we come back, Naresh has a gift for everybody that I think you're going to like. And then we'll ask him what he feels like the future of, is it Krish? Krish Media is going to be. So folks, around the year 2000, I kind of turned the internet marketing guru world on its head. Guys like me at my level were charging 50 or 100 grand up front to teach what we knew to business people. And I knew a lot of these guys were ripoffs, and they wouldn't have taught you anyway if you gave them the money. And I thought, that's too much money, and it's not really right for a small business to risk that kind of thing. So I turned things on its head, and I said, you're going to pay me a relatively small entry fee to my program. And then I'll take a percentage of your profits that's capped. So for me to get my big money, you have to make way bigger money. And once you pay so much, you're not stuck with me forever. So people really like this. And 1,700 students later, it's still going strong. And it's got a lot of unique features. Like, again, guys like me won't even talk to you at all, but I will talk to you, and my whole staff will talk to you one-on-one. So you have we have serious skin in the game to help you be successful. Nobody else will do this. I'll put this program up against anybody on earth. There's never been this long of a running mentor program or this successful. And we have a lot of unique features like now you can't come here right now, but part of your deal is you have a immersion weekend at the Great Internet Marketing Retreat Center where you actually live in my estate home with me with a small group, usually about 5 people as part of the deal. The whole program's a year long, but you don't really have to wait a year to make money. We have one girl in my school, after 4 months, she's making $6,000 a month on the side, quit her other job, and her dad had spent 80 grand on her education. And she was working some crappy job. So this is something, if you take to it, every business, and Naresh was talking about that, every business on earth knows they have to have this stuff, but most of the small businesses are clueless. So this young lady in my school just offered to take over their social media for them, and they're like begging, throwing money at her to do it because they don't know what they're doing. So there's all kinds of opportunities here that we teach. So if you get into my mentor program, you actually get a scholarship to my school that you can gift, which is what happened with this young lady. Her dad got in the mentor program. He gifted the scholarship to her, and now she's got a great career instead of the crappy job that he paid 80 grand for. So he's dreading that. And so you can check out all the details at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com, greatinternetmarketingtraining.com, and then feel free to get in touch with me. There's no machine gun nests or high pressure sales around here. If you don't see the value of what I have, it's okay with me. It's not going to change my lifestyle a bit, but it might change yours. So keep that in mind. All right, let's get back to the main event. Naresh Vissa is here, and he has got a big surprise for everybody. Tell them about it, Naresh.
I want to offer my book that we've touched on called 50 Shades of Marketing, Whip Your Business into Shape and Dominate Your Competition. I want to offer this book to all your listeners completely free of charge. It's your choice on whether you want the Kindle version, the audiobook version, or both versions.
Wow.
I will offer them both to you. All you have to do is go to my website, nareshvissa.com.
And we'll have that in the show notes, so if you can't spell it.
Yep. So just go to nareshvissa.com, get on my mailing list, and you will see on my website, nareshvissa.com, how you can contact me through email. You can contact, I think my Twitter's on there, my Facebook's on there, but just contact me via email. Say you heard me on the Screw the Commute podcast and you want your free book, and I will then send it to you.
Awesome.
So I want to offer that to all your listeners. It's about if you get both, that's about a $20 value.
Wow. What a good deal. So that's awesome, folks. So we'll have it in the show notes for Naresh's website. And so what do you think the future, thank you so much. So what do you think the future of Krish Media is going to be? How's it going to evolve?
Well, really, Tom, it's a lifestyle business. So I'm at a point in my business right now where it's kind of on autopilot. To be honest, the growth, I mean, it does well. Like I said, it's a lifestyle business. Mm-hmm. The growth is not as scalable as I initially thought it could be, which is okay because Krish Media and Marketing has allowed me to get involved in other private equity deals, other investment opportunities that are now looking like they, in the year 2020, could generate more money than Krish Media and Marketing. So none of those would have been possible without Krish Media and Marketing, and Krish Media and Marketing is going to continue to be in business as long as the market dictates that it can stay in business. It's been my bread and butter. We do a really good job at what we've been doing. And I think as more of the world continues to go digital and online, Krish Media and Marketing is going to continue to have more opportunities. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about all the different projects that we're currently working on and what we will be working on. And if it grows even more, great. If it stagnates, that's fine too, because like I said, it's a lifestyle business and it does quite well. And if eventually, look, I'm not naive. Krish Media Marketing came in and we put employees out of work. We put other larger marketing agencies out of business. And 20, 30 years from now, some 25-year-old might come along and do the same thing to me. So
some
that's
12-year-old.
12-year-old, or yeah, you said you're 11-year-old
Yeah.
who talked about math. So that could very well happen, and that's what kind of gets me up every morning and keeps me sharp and wanting to continue to learn more and stay hungry.
Yeah, and I've always preached, because I was in business long before the internet was even thought of. And if you mix both online and offline, you can really clean up. So it sounds like it's led you into some other things that aren't technically like internet marketing kind of stuff. So that's great. So tell them about your podcast.
Podcast is called The Work From Home Show. Website workfromhomeshow.com. We're everywhere. Tune in, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, you name it. We're everywhere. We've now reached 13 countries, have 1,600 listeners worldwide. We only got started when this pandemic got started. So in late March is when we launched. It was kind of a last minute thing because Krish Media and Marketing already had the infrastructure in place to launch a podcast, do all the web stuff, do the marketing, build the listenership. We were able to get up and running in one business day, that podcast. And so that also is on autopilot. It's been a lot of fun. We've interviewed some awesome, great guests like you, Tom.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. We interviewed you twice. You were that good. But we've gotten some other big names who we are very excited about. Big name doctors talking about the pandemic, talking about staying healthy while working at home, talking about mental health. We've gotten some big name marketers, business people talking about this process of shifting to work from home. We even got Joe Biden, one of Joe Biden's policy directors, his former CFO when he was vice president, to talk about work from home and what the politicians are planning.
And Joe's working from home.
And Joe's been working from home.
He had to work from home pretty hard today. I got to tell you that. I won't go any deeper than that, but he definitely had to work hard today.
Yeah. So it's been awesome. Check out workfromhomeshow.com. And it's just been extremely timely. We've helped. The feedback we've gotten has been awesome when it comes to helping people make that transition from their corporate office to their home office.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thanks, Naresh, for coming on. I really appreciate it. And folks, make sure you grab a copy of 50 Shades of Marketing. Check out Naresh's podcast. He has a co-host that helps him out on that too. And just looking back over this episode, he's created a really nice lifestyle business in really a few years, not that many years. Provides for his family, lets him get up when he wants to and do what he wants to. That's what a lifestyle business is all about. And so thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, it's been a pleasure, Tom. Always a good time.
All right. So everybody, we'll catch you on the next episode. See you later.